Build for yourself why the best apps are the ones you need. I want to share a principle that has guided every successful app I have ever built. Build for yourself, not for a market, not for a demographic, not for a target audience. For yourself, build the app that you wish existed. Solve the problem that you have. Create the tool that you need. Because when you build for yourself, you build with authenticity. And authenticity is the most powerful force in product design. Let me explain what I mean. When you build for a target audience, you are guessing. You are making assumptions about what people want. You are reading market research, studying competitors, analyzing trends, creating user personas. All of that is guessing, educated guessing, but guessing nonetheless, because you do not know what they want. You only know what they say they want. And what people say they want and what they actually use are often two very different things. When you build for yourself, you are not guessing. You know exactly what you want because you are the one who wants it. You know the problem because you have the problem. You know the solution because you have looked for it and not found it. You know the features because you have felt the absence of them. You know the user experience because you are the user. There is no guesswork, no assumptions, no personas, just you and your need. And that direct connection between builder and user produces something that no amount of market research can replicate. Every successful app I have built started with my own need. Smart Investor Leader started because I needed financial education for myself and my family. I could not find a platform that taught money in a way that resonated with me. Too academic, too technical, too focused on getting rich, not focused enough on living well. So I built what I needed. A financial education platform that treats money as a tool for life, not a goal for accumulation. And because I built it for myself, it resonated with people who felt the same way. Because I was not the only one who needed it. There were thousands of people who had the same need, but I was the one who built it, because I built it for myself first. 70 Dad started because my husband needed a resource for fatherhood. He was looking for content tools and community for dads and could not find anything that felt right. Too many parenting apps were focused on mothers, which is important, but fathers were being left out, so I built what my family needed. A platform for fathers, and because I built it for a real father in my life, it felt real to other fathers. Not manufactured, not market tested, real. Fête de l'Enfant started because I needed activities for my children. As a mother of 4 in France, I was constantly looking for things to do with my kids, especially during holidays, especially on weekends, especially during summer. I would search online, ask other parents, scroll through Facebook groups. It was scattered, inefficient, frustrating. So I built what I needed, a platform that collects children's activities in one place, filterable by age, location, type, cost. And because I built it for my own children, it served other parents' children too. Because every parent has the same need. What do I do with my kids this weekend? Kenya Creators United started because I saw creators in Kenya struggling. My friends, my community, people I cared about, they had talent, they had content, they had stories, but they did not have platforms. They did not have infrastructure. They did not have support. I could not find a solution that served Kenyan creators specifically. So I built what my community needed. And because I built it for real people, I knew it served real creators across Kenya. Paysaverse started because I needed a way to think about wealth that went beyond money. I had been thinking about the 7 dimensions, and I wanted a platform that connected financial health to every other dimension of life. No existing platform did that. They all focused on money in isolation. I wanted money in context, so I built it. 7D AI Academy started because I needed a place to teach what I had learned about vibe coding. I had been sharing my journey on social media, and people kept asking, "How do you do this? Can you teach me? Where can I learn?" I looked for a platform to send them to and could not find one that taught vibe coding specifically. So I built what I needed: a place to teach vibe coding, a place where people could learn to build apps without writing code, a place where my philosophy of purposeful building could live. 7 apps, 7 needs, all mine, all real, all personal. And that is why they work. Because they were not built for a market, they were built for a person. Me, and because I am not unique. My needs are shared by thousands, millions, but I was the one who built them. Because I built them for myself. I want to share what happens when you build for someone else instead of yourself. I have tried it. It does not work. Early in my building journey, someone asked me to build an app for dog owners. A social network for dogs. I do not have a dog. I do not want a dog. I know nothing about dog owners and their needs. But the market seemed big. Dog owners spend money. Dog owners are passionate. It seemed like a good opportunity. So I built it. I spent 2 days building a social platform for dogs, profiles, photos, groups, events, marketplace for dog products. It had everything except users, because I did not understand the user. I did not know what dog owners actually needed. I built what I imagined they might want, and my imagination was wrong. Dog owners did not need another social network. They needed vet recommendations, training resources, lost dog alerts, walking schedules. I built none of that because I did not know. Because I was not the user. I was guessing. And guessing produced an app that nobody wanted. Compare that to Smart Investor Leader. I built it because I needed it. I knew exactly what to include because I knew exactly what I was missing. I knew the tone because I knew how I wanted to be talked to about money. I knew the structure because I knew how I learn best. I knew the pricing because I knew what I would pay. Every decision was informed by personal experience, not market research. Personal experience. And the difference shows. Smart Investor Leader has users. The dog app does not. Because one was built from need. The other was built from opportunity. Here is the principle. Need produces authenticity. Opportunity produces imitation. When you build from need, you create something original. Because your need is specific to you. And your specific need produces a specific solution. And specific solutions feel different from generic solutions. They feel real. They feel personal. They feel like they were made by someone who cares. Because they were. When you build from opportunity, you create something generic. Because opportunity is not personal. It is observational. You observe a market and you build what the market seems to want. But observation is not experience. And the product shows it. It feels like it was made by a committee. Because it was. A committee of data points and assumptions. I want to share a practical exercise. If you want to build an app and you do not know what to build, do not look at the market. Look at your life. Ask yourself one question. What is the most annoying thing I deal with every week? Not a big problem. Not a world-changing problem. An annoying problem. Something that wastes your time, frustrates you, makes you repeat a task, forget something important, loses track of something. That annoying problem is your app idea. I did this exercise with a friend. She said the most annoying thing in her week was meal planning. Every Sunday she spent 2 hours figuring out what to cook for the family for the week, writing shopping lists, checking what she had, checking what she needed. It was not hard, but it was tedious, and she hated it. I said, that is your app. Build a meal planning app. She did. She spent 1 weekend building it with vibe coding. A simple app where you input what you have in your fridge. The app suggests meals you can make. It generates a shopping list for what you are missing. It saves the meal plan for the week. Simple, personal, useful. She built it for herself. Then she shared it with 3 friends. They loved it. Then their friends wanted it. Within a month, she had 200 users, all from solving her own annoying problem. That is how it works. You build for yourself. You share what you built. Other people with the same need find it. They use it. They share it. The growth is organic because the app is real. It solves a real problem for a real person. And real problems are shared by many people. You do not need to find a market. You need to find your problem. The market finds you. Now, I want to talk about the emotional advantage of building for yourself. When you build for a market, you are constantly second-guessing. Is this what they want? Will they use this feature? Is this the right price? Is this the right design? The second-guessing creates anxiety, and anxiety creates bad decisions. You overthink, you overbuild, you overcomplicate, because you are trying to please someone you cannot see. When you build for yourself, there is no second guessing. You know what you want, you know what works, you know what does not. You make decisions quickly because you are the user. You test by using. You evaluate by experiencing. You iterate by feeling what is wrong and fixing it. The process is faster, more confident, more enjoyable, because you are solving your own problem. And solving your own problem is satisfying in a way that solving someone else's problem is not. I also want to talk about what happens when your needs change, because they will. As you grow, your needs evolve, and your apps should evolve with you. When I first built Smart Investor Leader, it was a simple challenge platform. 5 days of content. That was what I needed at the time. A simple way to teach what I knew. As my needs grew, I added more. A membership tier, a summit, mastery programs. The app grew with me because I was the user I knew when it was time to add something. I felt the need, and I built what I felt. The app was always current because I was always current. It never fell behind because I never fell behind. The user and the builder were the same person, and that synchronicity kept the app relevant. Compare that to building for someone else. You build what you think they want. You launch. They use it. Their needs change, but you do not feel the change. You do not know what is missing. You have to ask them, survey them, read reviews, interpret feedback, and by the time you understand what has changed, you are already behind. Because you are not living the change, you are observing it from outside. Inside knowledge is always faster than outside observation. I want to leave you with this thought. The best apps in the world were built by people who needed them, not by people who saw an opportunity, not by people who read a market report, by people who had a problem and could not find a solution. So they built one. That is the origin story of almost every great product. A person with a problem with no solution, and the courage to build the solution themselves. If you have a problem that no app solves, you have an opportunity. Not a market opportunity, a personal opportunity. Build the solution for yourself, and if it works for you, it will work for others. Because you are not alone in your needs. Whatever you need, someone else needs it too. Build it for yourself. Share it with the world, and let the market find you. Remember this, the market does not know what it wants until you show it. But you know what you want right now. Trust that. Build that. The market will follow. It always does. Because behind every market is a person. And that person has the same needs you do. They are just waiting for someone to build the solution. Be that someone. If you want to learn how to build apps for your own needs, join me at 7D AI Academy. We help you identify your real problems and build real solutions. Search for 7D AI Academy online and start building for yourself today. I am Smarty, and this has been episode 20 of Vibe Coding with Purpose. We are 2/5 of the way through. 30 more episodes to go. In the next episode, we are going to talk about the psychology of a builder, the mindset that separates people who build from people who wish. See you there.